Well, I highly wanted to be able to run away while I'm recording, so I'm just doing it this way so you guys know. And I just read this. I woke up and I'm like, I kind of have a thing about me. I grab my phone and I go on YouTube or what have you. And the first thing that comes up that's about any of this kind of thing, I highly just try and record it or keep it. And this time, I'm recording it, and I'm going to be turning it into a daily HEARTWERK session. And so I hope you guys pay attention until the very end. This stuff has been really hard for me to deal with. I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate the support that I've been able to get from some of you guys out here, so I really appreciate that. So with this one, I'm going to be going through the causing or what causes the long-term suffering after narcissistic abuse and after you've been affected by narcissistic abuse. It can be years, and no matter how much time passes, you'll still feel that deep sorrow, that loss of purpose in your life. Even though you have plenty to be grateful for, you just feel completely lost and shattered. After effects of narcissistic abuse, even if you are over the narcissist, you will still experience so much psychological trauma. Your brain is going to be affected, your functioning is going to be affected, and the way you see the world is affected. There is so much damage in these relationships. The stress alone has dire effects on your health. Your body cannot constantly be in hypervigilance mode and not become affected. And that is what you are thrown into, is hypervigilance, because you don't know how to go about moving to catch them up or what have you. So your cortisol levels are ran up to an all-time high, and you'll find yourself exhausted, mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted. You feel different, like you just don't fit into the world anymore. And you feel broken, like no one understands you. And how could they? When you didn't even know the extent of the damage that was ensuing. And to tell you the truth, I still don't. And you still just don't. You just feel broken. No one understands you. You come out of this relationship so scarred and so broken and bruised and completely lost, not knowing if you'll ever find those same feelings again or just be able to feel real again. Feeling like you will never fit into this world again. All they do is break you down in that way, where there are no words that can accurately explain or describe that depth of pain. So carrying into this topic, I'm going to start out with an opening prayer. And it's just to help people to understand these kinds of demons and this kind of narcissistic abuse. So within this, I have set this down. So within this, I want you to fold your hands and bow your heads and say this prayer. Lord, we gather with you here today, seeking your strength, your comfort, and your guidance. We pray for the courage to face the demons that torment us and the wisdom to discern your path of healing that may be lit in our path, even if we might not understand it. May your light shine upon us now in these dark moments of our lives, and may your love restore our broken hearts. And in this, you can continue this kind of prayer I'm actually giving you a good example of like where to start from. And within that, I'm just going to say amen. But I also just want you to know that before you say amen, I want you to, seek the Lord in what you're going through. And then when you're done with what you have to say to the Lord, that's when you say amen. Amen. So the nature of narcissistic abuse, it's a manipulative and harmful pattern of behavior by which the abuser seeks to control and dominate their victim. This abuse can be emotional, psychological, or even physical abuse, and it leaves scars that affect every aspect of the victim's life. Next are the impacts they have on the brain. Research shows that prolonged exposure to narcissistic abuse can lead to significant neurological damage. Victims often experience cognitive impairment. The constant stress and manipulation can disrupt normal brain function, leading to difficulties in reasoning, memory, and decision making, all of which have affected me. Emotional dysregulation. Victims may suffer from heightened anxiety, depression, and PTSD. The abuse often causes an overactive amygdala, the brain's fear center, and weakens the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought, making it harder and harder to process emotions and or think clearly. I definitely have emotional dysregulation going on after the emotional abuse I've been put through. You can experience these mini seizures. Some victims report experiencing shaking and an inability to articulate their thoughts, akin to mini seizures. This is a manifestation of that intense stress and the anxiety and the trauma inflicted by the abuse that it causes it within your own body. And like the way I describe it is it's like almost like your mind synapses. It's like a shutter inside of your mind that it shutters or something, and it's like your mind just synapses. I don't know. You can't really hold tight to those thoughts. You see what I mean? And it just synapses, and it's like that. The thought, the memory, the whatever you're working on, even in the shortest of moments, few seconds can go by, and your mind, you could even know exactly where you're trying to go in conversation or in thought, and your mind synapses, and it's like, oh, where was I? I forgot. You know what I mean? That's kind of what happens, and it's just like, oh wow, how do you get past this? And so you're just like, oh, this hurts so bad. I can't even hold on to my own thoughts. And then there's medication impact. While medications like antidepressants can help some individuals, they may actually worsen these symptoms for others, leading to further emotional and cognitive decline. I believe wholeheartedly that this is what happened to me, is because my symptoms worsened, and like people wanted to continue putting me on these things, and it's like, no, you guys don't understand. I can't open my mouth. I can't speak when I need to. So I'm not going to be a guinea pig to that kind of medication ever again. And then the third part here is the heart and soul's connection. Narcissistic abuse doesn't just affect the brain, it pierces the very core of our being. It attacks our self-worth, our faith, our capacity to love and trust. But remember, while these demons seek to destroy us, they cannot touch the eternal light that's within us. Through faith and prayer, we can reclaim our true selves. And this is where a heart work comes into play, because it kindly calls people into doing actual real work on themselves. And a lot of people, I think, don't have it in them anymore to even try. And it goes to show what a good person is or isn't, because, I mean, not all the time, but I'm just going to say that the majority of the time, if a good person is really trying diligently hard in their relationships, they're going to be the kinds that are going to get through this stuff. They're going to be the kinds that aren't going to go AWOL. They are going to be the kinds that are going to be highly questionable when it comes to like how they moved and what they did to you, because, well, if they did this and you're telling the truth, why didn't you? That's the question. Why didn't you snap and all of that? Because, well, it's basically like telling a person that, oh, well, with what you're telling me, it doesn't really prove much, because anybody else that would have had that happen to them, they would have, like, done something, right? They would have done something horrific, is what they're getting at, right?
So this is going to be a daily HEARTWERK session. It'll be my 6th daily HEARTWERK session. I wholeheartedly planned on getting more of these out, and I wholeheartedly meant for them to be different. But this one, I'm going to be taking a recording that I made on my phone, and I'm just like, I'm just so like, I don't look good in the video, so what I'm doing is just recording straight from my phone, and at least you guys can hear the value then, because I don't want to show you the value, because I mean, I I was up at this point for quite a while, and like hardly any sleep, and just I was not in a good way this day. But you know, the things that I said here are the things that matter, and so I'm just gonna play it for you. I want you guys to prepare for a long video here, but it's very important stuff, and it needs to be said. So I'm putting this out online for a very important reason. I hope you guys stay tuned, and I hope you guys pay attention to the very end.
So, I am obviously really hurt and actually kind of scared of my own future because of how people decided to move in my life in the recent, obviously. But see, here's the thing, I need your guys' help and advice with how to do this. Everything that these people did was illegal. Like, I'm talking multiple felonies here, you guys. Like, legit, multiple felonies that you guys took in my life. And I'm not, and what do you call, fucking, excuse my language, but what do you call it when, someone's trying to poison you up to, like, murder you, to take you up out of the way, in a way that's completely covert, that's meant to, like, if you were to die, autopsy would have been, like, you know, it would have, like, nothing, unless it was, like, enough of something to, like, prove that, you know, it wasn't by my own doing or some shit, but that's what it was. Or it was something like that. Or I don't know. I would highly like to know what the fuck I was being poisoned with. I want to know why, how this long after my fucking chest can hurt this bad. And like, here's the thing, if I were to die like that, if I were to actually had died like that, and like they get their way and blah blah blah, and he just has to wait for his mom to croak, and then he can move, you know, he can be all like, oh, I can go and I'll be Yezin's father, you know, shit like that. I don't, just whatever, G. You were fucking sitting there placating on my fucking emotions by fucking taking down their fucking names and all that shit. And I don't even care if it was a fucking reality or a placated fucking thing that you did to fucking hurt me. This shit fucking hurt, G. This shit fucking hurt. You know what? I don't care anymore what people think. My heart's value and the actual heart's work that I've been working on had nothing to do with this content. Nothing. It had everything to do with finding people in this kind of profound pain and stopping people in my position. My position. From like legit going AWOL. And this shit is hard. This shit is hard. And here's the thing. I think I have it in me to walk up into almost any fucking situation like this. Any. And de-escalate it. Unlike anybody's fucking business. Like, sure, I think there's actually good cops out there that can actually do a good job at this. But not like me. And not like this added layer of HEARTWERK police that I have written up. So with this motherfucker moving like that in my life, when back in the day, I'm saying to myself, if that was my own G, and like, highly, I would not have been able to hold tight to myself at 23 and shit. Coming like out of a 9-year relationship. Do you get it? And so I said to myself, if this motherfucking man ever moves in my life like this ever again, he is not gonna fucking live it down. Not ever gonna live this shit down. And then here I am, like, okay, if I need to fucking move a chess piece in the fucking middle of like my heart's value, not wanting me to, like, I don't want to fucking be destroyed because of how I fucking love. I love hard as fuck, and I might not be able to show it right away, and I might stay reserved for a really fucking long time. But deep inside of this, man, for you is a lot of fucking love. And I had a lot of love for my girl. So with the way my own fucking mate just moved, man, I'm sorry, but like, these articles you read about these recent murder homicides and fucking cops killing their own wives to fucking go and turn the gun on whoever fucking did this to them, and it puts them in that kind of same fucked up way as it does anybody else, because at the end of the day, they're just human too. And this shit is hard, G. This shit is hard. You got some fucking dumb motherfucker inciting every single last one of the 7 deadliest sins, and then some. There's more deadly sins than just the 7. And trust me, there's a lot more here. A lot more that he just invited into this fucking life. Like nobody's fucking business. So I'm sorry, but this motherfucking man needs his life turned upside down, because I've been in a resolve for my love life in this fashion then for 20 years. Over 20 years, to know that this man moved in my life that way before. And then he's highly anticipating doing it to me again? You dumb motherfucker, G. Do you actually feel that bad about yourself that you want to be dead? I bet you do. I bet you feel so stuck inside of your own fucking dumbass fucking criminality that you've taken into my own value in life in that kind of way, knowing far well that you just done fucked with a good fucking person that actually had a good heart that you just seemingly had to destroy. You fucking made it your life's fucking work. As if my life is a game. So then here I am sitting on the phone with you and, oh, I don't think you were ever working on a game. Show me your game you're working on. Send it to me. Something. What are you fucking working on, G? Because I don't think you're working on some fucking game. I think you're making my life a fucking game. And I think you're perfectly fine with doing it to me, too. But see, here's just the thing. You're not gonna fucking get away with this. You're not. One way or another, I am gonna get every last little bit of this for the last 20 years online. And I don't care what people see of the truth. You move in anyone's life this way. And you're just dumb as fuck. But you do it to your own fucking friend. You do it to someone that actually means sincerity with you. I don't even know how you can look at yourself in the fucking mirror. I don't know how you can tell your mom that you love her. I don't even know how you can even pretend that you're a good fucking man at all. You're like, oh, I'm a faithful man. And calling me up not a faithful man. Look, with where you moved in my life, I don't care what you think, G. You have no fucking business doing this to anybody. And I'm gonna make sure that you don't get to do anything to anybody ever a fucking again, you hear me? None. You belong in jail, and your body is a fucking prison. And I am so fucking angry with all of this shit right now. Like, I can't even fucking function right. So, yeah. Agent 2, Agent 1, Agent 2, Agent 3, all these other motherfuckers, they're gonna get involved, G. And you can go ahead and try and run. They're waiting for you to fucking run.
So here's a quick example of a bunch of other sins that are just as deadly as the 7 deadliest sins, supposedly. But these all lead into the 7 deadly sins. Number 1, deceit, lying, cheating, or intentionally misleading others. Oh, there's definitely that here. 2 is cowardice, lack of courage to stand up for what is right. Oh, there's definitely a lot of that here. 3, hypocrisy, pretending to have virtues, moral or religious beliefs, principles, moralities, etc., that the actual person does not possess. Oh, there's a lot of that too. 4, gossip, spreading rumors or talking about others behind their backs. There was definitely some of that going on. You know, like shit that I'm not aware of, obviously. I would love to fucking know all of it. Shit, all your conversations, I'd love to listen to every single one of them. Fucking after what you've done to me. Number 5, betrayal. Breaking trust or faith, especially in a relationship, and I would even add in, especially in a long-standing relationship. Betrayal like this, because it can only come from someone that you love. 6, vanity. Excessive pride or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. You know, I don't know how that would fall into play here, but I think it's like pretty vainglory to like think that you can just go ahead and move up on somebody's life like that and just steal away their value completely. Just wax that motherfucker. Or better yet, get his own girl to wax him. Get him thinking that he has his girlfriend still, and get her poisoning you up without you even knowing a damn thing, all covert and shit. Yeah. 8 is neglect. Failing to care for someone or something properly. Oh God, there's definitely a lot of neglect here in that sentiment. Number 9, intolerance. Unwillingness to accept views, beliefs, or behaviors that differ from one's own beliefs. Oh, there's definitely that. Because I brought my beliefs to my G. He knew exactly what my beliefs were, which is another part that just makes this hurt that much worse. Because he knew that I was trying to be a better Christian, trying to pray hard, and trying to do those things in my own way. And honestly, with everything that I shared with him, there is definitely 100,000 X beyond that with where my value is and was. So, number 10, revenge. Seeking to harm someone in return for a perceived wrong. Well, there's definitely that introduced into it, and if it's not introduced into it by how a guy in my position would want to seek a person out, there is definitely a revenge thing from where he's concerned, and I don't know where it comes from. But for him to move this way in the first place could be a added layer of like, oh, I'm gonna get this motherfucker, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other because of some minuscule little fucking thing in our history or what have you, and I don't know the truth there, but I anticipate there's something, and I don't know what it is. Anyway, number 11 is apathy. Lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern, especially in important matters. Oh, and there's definitely a lot of apathetic emotion here, because I would say that when you're confronting your own friend, or someone you know even, or a roommate, or someone you even barely know, doesn't matter where they come from, if you're confronting them on this type of behavior, and it's an important matter, yeah, you're going to get a lot of people that are going to show you a lack of interest or enthusiasm inside of that relationship, and it's going to come up all so suddenly, right after they were just despairing that they were so there for you, and so, like, ready to be such a good friend to you, right? Right. Number 12 is despair. Loss of hope, often leading to giving up on one's life or one's own responsibilities. Well, gee, did you throw me into a little despair? Are you in a little despair because of where you moved in my life? Gee, what is it? I'm really interested. But yeah, I think there's a lot of despair that didn't ever need to be here based on how my own G moved in my life and moved up on my life with such malicious intent. Number 13 is stubbornness. Refusal to change one's mind or course of action despite good reason to do so. Well, with me highly anticipating that could be the case, and me having the conversation with my own G, mind you, at the time, whereas like, look, man, I'm getting older, having that kind of conversation where it's like, I just kind of want to be able to relax and do my own thing. So I was kindly asking in a very nice way to just kind of let me be. And that later on, when everything's settled, I have my place finally in order, and I have like the majority of my stuff unpacked and gone through from the last fucking 20 years of it taking me to get here. After the way this man moved in my life, yeah, I think I deserved the least bit of respect coming from my own supposed friend, giving me the value that I was telling him was an absolute boundary. If you were to cross this line, you would definitely be doing it to hurt me. And he does it right in almost that same breath, in that same conversation right there in my garage. And then you want to placate as if I'm the aggressor. Okay, you dumb prick. Tell me how I'm a fucking aggressive man by how I am assertive on how I want my relationships to be, in asking you kindly and politely, just leave me alone for a little while, basically, because I'm going to be grinding and working hard. When I get home, I'm not going to have as much time, and when I get to a place, I would love to be able to have bonfires, chill, and do our thing. But up until that point, and I was not mean about it at all like I'm sounding right now, but it was, leave me the fuck alone. Do you dig it? And you're not gonna fucking say that you can go and do this to me right in front of me after everything I've done, because in my garage, and I think this was an intent, I think this was a malicious, maligning, traitorous fucking move, because you needed, that day even, me to fucking turn around and fucking sock you so fucking hard in my own fucking garage. So guess what? Oh, then I just moved out here and I'm the aggressor and you can make me have to leave, huh? Okay. You needed my removal more than I ever anticipated you needing it. Gee. So, 14. Impatience, restlessness, and or irritation due to delay or opposition. Impatience. I don't know. I have been a very, very patient person with my resolve, but I've been kind of impatient with it here in the end, if you dig it, because it's like this. All of these layers of emotions, they wouldn't exist this way. I'd say a good 99% of my content would be completely different and all about the committal stuff that I was working on. The vows, like the commitment of the G code, of the formidable move that I have within my heart's work that has to deal with this kind of value being taken into my love life in the first place. So number 15 is idolatry, excessive or blind adoration, reverence, or devotion to something other than God. Well, let's see here, dude. I think you pinpoint yourself as better than God. So, and I don't even anticipate you doing any kind of heart work that I've done for the last 20 years to be able to use discernment in that way, to figure this shit out in the first place. And then on top of it, you're gonna move in that way. In number 16, arrogance. Overbearing pride evidenced by a superior manner towards inferiors. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to just be inferior to your cowardice ass moves. Bitch ass, selfish ass, MF. Go F yourself, G. Kindly, and thank you. 'Cause it leads right into number 17. Selfishness. Concerned excessively or exclusively with oneself, seeking concentrating on one's own advantage, pleasure, or well-being. Well, gee, where would that have been inserted inside of this relationship, gee? Oh, God, that's just such an agonizing topic. You know, I think you should just set yourself up as a squirrel and be a drifter. 18 is destruction. And that's what it led into, is into the destruction of my life, my personal property, my mental property, my physical property, my private property, my passwords property, my checkbook disappearing, my shavers going missing, the parasites being put on me, the whatever that you could get away with poisoning me with through my own girl, which leads it into the next sin, and that's number 19, manipulation, influencing or controlling others in a devious way. Well, gee, I think you targeted my own girl to manipulate her for your dumbass, to do what she was doing for your dumbass, and you're fucking dumb in that sentiment, because look, you want to be in love with my girl and highly remove me. Oh, you got another thing coming, dumb fuck. Trust me. And then leads to 20, and there's more, but this is where I'm going to stop, and it's injustice, lack of fairness or justice, and the violation of rights of others. And look, bitch, that's where this goes to. That's where it goes to, verbatim, where it goes to, because where is the justice system? Where is the justice system for a targeted individual? Where's the justice system in just the place of these violations against me? All the 7 deadliest sins, plus the 20 that I just mentioned, all the way up onto the injustice. How about just the injustice of having it within you to do that kind of thing to your own friend? Or how about just anybody having that value to lead somebody's life into such injustice that is to absolutely malign them, absolutely to get them into a state of mind, either to put them in jail or to put them under, to work iniquity in their lives, and hopefully I believe the goal was get this man to kill himself, because why else would my girl be over there at your house doing what she was doing, saying, I don't care about the whole jealousy thing. Fuck him up in the worst way. Oh, gee, I think you just pushed things a little bit too far there, because look, I was reading into every last move you were making. And that, my friend, is why you're the dumbest motherfucker I have ever known in my entire life. And continuing with another important part of that video, I'm going to just play it for you guys, because again, I was disheveled and there's nothing pretty about the video. So this is how I'm doing it, and I hope you guys still are with me. Stay to the end. This is gonna get good.
Here's just another part of this that I was just thinking about. Is like, look, after 28 years, you want to move in my life this way, okay? And then right after you move in my life this way, you want to say it like, oh, we can't be friends then. If you can't trust me, we can't be friends then. You needed to call up the relationship over this narcissistic abuse, and you highly wanted to blame it on me, making me out to be the aggressor, even though I think the aggressor is the person that's dick enough to do this to his own fucking mate, don't you think? I mean, does anybody out here agree with me on that? Okay. I think people would agree with me on this. And here's just the thing. you wanted to say it like, oh, like he's just gone crazy, and like I wouldn't be caught alone in a room with him if my life depended on it, type of thing. But here's the thing, G. I think you know that you'd have been safe because you know me. You know me inside and out, don't you? You think you do because of your hacking ability, and I think you really did. I think you really have been hacking me. I think all of that trouble that I had before, I think that was you, G. I really do. I think the trouble I had getting into this place, I don't know where that came from. I thought it was somebody else, but I think that it could have been you too, G. I think you have access to a whole lot more than you anticipated even being able to control. And so if you want to move into my life that way and then be like, oh, this man's got problems and he needs mental help. And so after 28 years, and I think people can agree with me on this, that if your own G is actually dealing with narcissistic abuse, and he is, like, highly, what would you say, like, he needs mental help, or mental health help, even if that were the case, wouldn't you just fucking drive that person? Wouldn't you be there for your friend if you weren't in that narcissistic abuse? See, because here's the thing. I think you would. I think as a good friend of 28 years, if I was worried about my G like that, if I was worried about my friend like that, I wouldn't be highly called up out of the relationship. I would highly say that because my G is in such a bad way over this narcissistic abuse, and he thinks it's me, I'm gonna prove to him that it's not me. I'm gonna prove to him that it's not me, and then after I prove to him it's not me, I'm gonna be there for him. I'm gonna be there for my mate, and I'm gonna tell him we're gonna get through this, G. Even if your mind's in a fray. But see, you don't have that in you because your bitch ass actually did move in this way. And I don't think it's so much the lust of the flesh, just like I say in a few projects of mine. No, has nothing to do with the lust of the flesh, does it? Has everything to do with your information. Has everything to do with what you actually did to me in my life. And you not only needed to put that on somebody else to kill me, so that it wasn't all you getting in trouble. But see, here's just the thing. Here's just the thing, man. You used her. You targeted her. And you got away with it. And you fucked her in my own house. And right there is the crime. Right there is taking it real far, G. Real too far. And so, because she enjoyed it, she deserves just as bit as much of the fucking retribution as you do. But look, G, you deserve 20 times. 20 times. Whatever that outcome would be. And you want to know why? You want to know why you would deserve 20 times? Because I've been in a resolve in this way for my love life because of where you moved in my life 20 years ago. And where you've moved in my life before with a neighbor girl of mine. And you know what? Your dumbass mistakes are going to come to a head now because you don't get to move this way in my life. I don't even care if I fall up on this ground one day and I die. You know for a fact the God upstairs is not going to be happy with this one. You know for a fact that you've been working in inequity in my life and you've been pushing it to the fucking brink. And you've been pushing that limit to the fucking edge since jump. So, I don't really care how you move, because anyone who wants to call up a relationship like that who isn't in that fucking way, and then he highly wants to say, I'm a faithful man. Yeah, what kind of weight do you even bear for your friend? And what kind of weight could you even bear for that sad lady that you legit took and destroyed? Her heart's value is gone. She can no longer live in that motherfucker. Gee. Just like 20 years ago. Just like 20 years ago, gee. There's no way she could have lived with herself being near me, and she needed to get away. You did that, G. You did that. I don't care what anyone else fucking has to say about it. You belong in jail. Or actually, you belong in worse predicaments than this life could even throw at you. And you want to know why? Because you threw the bricks at me, man. In the placation and everything that you fucking did, you needed to remove me from the world. And you know why you needed to remove me from the world? To highly cover up your own shit. Your own shit would need to be covered up by the death of me. You need me in a grave. Good luck with that. And even if you got it there, good luck dealing with God. Good luck. And you know what? This is the thing, G. It's been really fucking hard for me to pray for my enemies. And especially with this one, because, look, you don't get to move this way in somebody's life and then highly call up the relationship, like, after that long, G. Okay. You want to placate like you were ever my friend then? You were never somebody's friend. And here's the thing. You, my friend, need to do heart work. You, my friend, need to do channeling work. You, my friend, need to talk to God. You, my friend, need to do that inner work. You, my friend, need heart work. You do. I've been doing this for 20 years. To be able to know for a fact if this is how you would move ever again in my life, and then you did. You actually had the nerve to allow me to go through everything I did to dig myself out from under with where you put me before. And now that I just so happened to get an awesome place, you allowed me to sign the paperwork, write up these big checks. I had a hard time with this, G, because of how hard I fucking worked to get here. How fucking much I had to fucking sacrifice of myself day in and day out, not knowing if I'm ever going to be able to come to again. And then just when I was thinking I was going to be able to lift myself up and I was feeling good, you move in this fucked up way again. Again. So here's the thing about that, G. Here's just the thing about that. And yeah, this is for my G. I hope you do watch this. Because you deserve the whole fucking world coming down on your head now. I hope you realize that. You deserve the whole world coming down on your head because you don't get to move in my life in that way. And with what you did before to me, legit left my mind in fraze, like I did not have my memories. Has anyone seen the movie Memento? That guy in the movie Memento, John G., he didn't have any of his short-term memory. And so what he had to do to like highly anticipate knowing who was after him and who was trying to actually murder and kill him. And I mean, I didn't think about the narcissistic abuse factor until recently, that with that movie and those things being an analogy to that. But they highly are. They're getting at the analogies of narcissistic abuse because it leaves your mind in such disarray. You don't even have your natural organic mind. I don't know how else to describe that, but you don't have your thoughts, you don't have your originality, you don't have your original thought processes anymore. What you have is something that is covering all of that actual organic thoughts, the actual happiness that you could have carried out in your life, all of that thing. It just dies. It just like goes away. It's highly like it's not even cool because your brains are literally just left up in the fray. And after they're left up in the fray in that way, you legit like lose your memories. You legit like have, it's a hard thing to remember certain things that have to do with that kind of that long standing of pain that can be created in that way. And with it being created in that way in my life from before, like I legitimately couldn't even talk. My mind was so like broken. I legitimately couldn't even function normal back then because it hurt that bad. So, and like you kind of like highly like after the falling out and shit, like you highly like, I don't have my memories. I've lost a lot of my memories or my every emotion from before then. And so like you kind of black these things out. They kind of like go, oh, you want that thought, but here. Oh, you want that thought too? Oh, sorry. Oh, you might get a snippet of that thought or that thought, you know what I mean? Like, but they're blacked out, they're whited out, they're, you know, how else do you want to say it? You don't have your fucking memories. You don't have your memories. And the memories that you do have extend from writing. And so when I was writing my story about this like targeted individual type shit and trying to figure out like why is all this evil shit happening to me, because this is highly just not like normal it's not just happenstance that all this stuff is happening to me. That's what I came up with. So I'm writing the story out and I'm like, I'm getting to the parts about that. I'm highly remembering now because I'm writing. I'm highly starting to remember all of those things with my own gene, how he decided to just move. And so as I'm remembering these things and writing them down, oh, lo and behold, my computer got hacked, and that whole story, it was like a lot of fucking words, just gets taken off of my computer. Like, and what I anticipate there happened was you hacked me. You took that because you could see it. You could see it as a story that would actually prove what I was saying to be true. And so in this time, when I came up into this place, and I fell to the ground right here. I fell to the ground. I was in the fetal position right here, man. I barely made it through this fucking door. And I remember very little, but I remember getting in the door, and I shut this door, and I was in such fucking profound pain and tears that my body dropped to the fucking ground. Dropped. And I'm holding on to my chest for dear life. For dear fucking life. For dear fucking life. Thinking in my mind that they just tried to fucking murder me, and that's what you're experiencing right now. It's nothing to do with diabetes. It's nothing to do with normal stress, cortisol running through my body, which I had a lot of. No. It had everything to do with murderous intent of some kind of poison up in my body that dropped me to that fucking ground. Dropped me, G. So you want to act like you can move that way in anybody's life. You do not have the right to do it to anybody. And you know what? You should not be a free man. You should not be a free man, and you want to know why? Because you needed to murder me. You needed to murder me. And I didn't know that until the recent, dude. I did not know that. You needed me dead. And you know why you needed me dead. Because how many fucking felonies, dude? In the courts, in the lands of the courts, if this shit were to ever come to light, in this day, in this time, and not when we're dead, oh motherfucker, how many fucking millions could I sue you for? You dumb motherfucker, you needed me dead. And that is exactly the fucking truth. You needed me fucking dead. It's not just a want. It's not just a little itch. You fucking needed me dead. And so you targeted my own girl and put her into the fucking situation because where your dumb ass fucking moved in my life before. Look. I hope she fucking figures this stuff out because I will hold her to such a high standard if she fucking figures this stuff out and does something, because gee, you would deserve it. And you know what? I don't think she would have it in her to hold tight like I do. I don't think she would. Because you know what, G? She fucking loved me. She did. Before you, she fucking loved me a lot. And you know what? You know what you did? You know what you did. You know exactly what you did, G. You fucking used the situation in any way you could. Through everything that you've fucking done. So you could fucking move in this way. And look, man. I don't know what I don't like it. I don't like it one little fucking bit. But you know what, G? I hope something happens there. I really do. And you know what? If she did anything to you, anything at all, guess what? I'd forgive her. I would totally, wholeheartedly forgive her. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because you didn't even anticipate that she had a heart or had a mind of her own at all in this. No, you didn't. You wanted to move up in this way because you needed to move up in this way to cover your own crimes against me. And now I know. So when that badge gets here, and then and after I get through this fucking training, yeah, motherfucker, go ahead and think I'm fucking playing. I'm gonna be there with Agent 1, 2, 3, and so many others. And I don't care where you try and cage up to run to right now, they're waiting for you. They're patrolling around here right now, and they're waiting for you to fucking run. So go ahead, try and go to Cuba, try and go to Argentina, try and do anything. You're not gonna get away with this, my G. You're not gonna get away with this, even if you were to come here and highly anticipate snuffing me out. But see, that's what you would need to do now. Disappear me.
It's really hard following this stuff up with such anger and such frustration that I know I feel, and I have no, I can't control the Effenheimers and stuff like that. And so I'm just asking you guys, please overlook that uh,
for this project because it's just been really hard for me, and I hope that you guys can forgive that part. That's all I'm getting at, just because I'm not doing other things. It could be a lot worse, couldn't it be, that kind of thing. And in articles that you can read out there in the, just looking stuff up, it doesn't take very far to research this kind of thing to find cases where there is murder and homicide and suicide and just all sorts of really horrible, horrific things. And so that is what I'm highly anticipating standing up against. And so when a person in that way is like legit putting me in situations to call me up out of myself, oh yeah, you definitely needed me to be called up out of myself. So anyway, in this, I'm just going to go through a few Bible verses for strength and healing for the end, and then reflections for actions that you can take, and then I'll close out in prayer with some final thoughts. So the first one is Psalm 34:18 out of the King James Version. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. God is going to be always close to those who are long-suffering with these kinds of abuses. I highly anticipate many more people going to the Lord about these kinds of long sufferings that they've had. And He understands the pain that we're going through. And He's there to help heal us and help save us and save our lives from these people that would otherwise malign and destroy us. Next is Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. And it's just that even in our darkest moments, God is saying that He is with us and He's going to provide for us the strength that we need to overcome these struggles, along with many other things that He will provide for us to help us get through. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what, the explanation of that verse is for this project and for what you're going through with the abuse. And then there's John 14:27, and this will be the last one I'll leave with you guys. It's just, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. It's offering the peace of Jesus unlike any other that this world could even potentially try and provide. It's a deep, abiding peace that calms our troubled hearts even in the midst of these painful times. It's an amazing feeling to know that you have the Lord, and it's an amazing feeling when you feel the Lord working within you, your body, your spirit, and just your life in general. And so God's peace is beyond our understanding, but it guards our hearts and minds and protects us from this kind of turmoil that can seek to, come into our lives without us aware. And it hurts. It hurts, and it just continues to hurt to no end. So reflections and actions is reflect on God's promises. Take time each day to meditate on the Bible verses. Let them remind you of God's unwavering love and His promises to heal and restore you. What I like to do in that is when I find something that I do like and it can relate, I like to write it down, and it helps save it in my memory. And because you put that much more time into it, it's not you just going to the passage and reading it in your head or reading it out loud even. It's taking the time to understand it word for word
so that you can move in the future of your life, knowing knowing that verse and at least being able to anticipate that verse into your life. And these things help you. Each time you do something like that, they help you. Second part of this reflections and actions is prayer and community. Try and find a support group, a prayer partner. Sharing your experiences with others who understand can provide immense support and comfort, and they can help strengthen you. Sometimes people that you wouldn't even understand that they've had things happen, they don't look like they had anything like this happen, and then and they've highly gotten through it, and so these people can help comfort you in the times that you're going through. Thirdly is professional help. Of course, seeking counseling or therapy from professionals experienced in dealing with this kind of narcissistic abuse can offer practical tools and strategies to help you heal. I just want to also just integrate the fact that even though there's professional help out there, the greatest physician, the greatest form of counseling and therapy that you can get is going to God with that open heart and to be a vessel for the Lord to work within you and asking the Lord to come in that way, work within me and work within my life. And then lastly is self-care. You have to engage in activities that nurture your body, mind, and spirit. And these things are the hardest things for me lately. I highly love to rollerblade, play my drums. Lately I've gotten into trying to rap, and it's mainly so that I can utilize my voice. I don't know. I'd like to be a rapper, but I've never actually anticipated or dreamed of being a rapper. It was just like, oh wow, I have a lot to say and I'd have to say it pretty quick, so I should just get into rap, I guess. I have a lot to say. I have a lot of writing. And how could I turn the last 15 years of that writing around and turn it into something that's formidable for people to relate with and to engage with and just to help be that light in somebody else's life, to uplift them and to life them up. Life them up. That's kind of what that song I wrote is, life up, and I like the saying of life up because it's just it's to step up that level. You're on a mission in your world regardless of where you're at. It's highly studying the Lord's mission inside of your own mission and mixing the two until the Lord's makes more sense to you, which it should, or not make more sense to you, but like you can have it move in your life, I think, in a very beautiful way. And there's no words that can describe that kind of relational feeling that you can get from the Lord. There's no words for it. And I mean, look, if I even came up with the words to try and explain that, y'all are gonna call me crazy and try and throw me into a fucking 72-hour hold. I don't want it. And all I'm trying to tell people is that if you legit are asking the Lord to speak to you, you're gonna be spoken to. And if you're paying attention, you're gonna know verbatim what the Lord is speaking to you with. Do you see what I'm saying? And so it doesn't have to sound crazy here, folks, because it's not. It's easy to understand. The Lord our God made us, and He's very happy about making us. He's just not happy about how we're deciding to move and how, this evil has just ripped us out of ourselves. I mean, legitimately, how in the world could I even live in my original heart? How? After all of this long standing of abuse, after everything that I've been through, my life has been lived completely and organically, and I would like to be able to somehow live my life organically again. And I've been fighting hard, tooth and nail, to be able to. So when this happened and it was like I'm like dying now, no, no, you guys do not get to kill me. Anyway, closing out in a prayer again. I just want you guys to know I thank you for reaching this far. I know this is a long one, but if you reach this far, I thank you. And, it means a lot to me. So I'm going to fold my hands, bow my head, and I hope that you do the same. And close your eyes. Say, Heavenly Father, we thank you for your boundless love and mercy that you've shown upon us. We ask for your healing touch to mend our broken hearts, our minds, our physical bodies, everything. We want you to work within us to renew us. Give us the strength to face these kinds of demons and the faith to trust in your plan for our lives and not in man's plan for our lives. May we find the peace in your presence and hope in your promises, Lord, that we find in the Gospels, and we highly want to grow this prayer in our own ways. So I want you to continue that, just as I always will say. And in the end, you just say that you pray. You say that you're praying these things in Jesus' name, in Jesus' holy and precious name. Amen. And then you say amen. So my final thoughts are just to remember that no matter how deep the scars of this abuse and narcissistic abuse can run, don't let them define you. You are a child of God, created in His image, and nothing can separate you from His love for you. So stay strong, my friends, and keep up the good faith. Keep on that good grind, and let the light of Christ guide you into a place of that healing and peace that you most deserve. Thanks for being here, and I hope you get through all that's meant and set up to betray you and hurt you, malign you, and to push you. So again, thanks for being here. It means a whole lot to me, and I'm really hoping that it does something for you guys out here to help you get through this as well, because it's been really hard. So until the next one, goodbye, my friends.